Bring me a charger. You're on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. I will be getting to my computer here in literally 25 seconds. But a lot to go over this week. Big fights, everything else.
I'm having trouble with
So,
mine too, Kelly. Hold on.
what's that?
I was having trouble with my computer too. So hold on.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get to mine's.
We're all fighting with our stuff.
You all set?
I'm okay.
Cal, go give me a charger. All right. I'm making a dreadful walk. Did I tell you guys what happened to me today? All the listeners and James.
What's that?
I come out my house
Yeah.
and I'm going to my car to go to the gym, and feet in the air first, take a spill right on my hip and elbow.
10 toes up, huh?
Oh man, I flopped up to make sure, see if anybody see me. It was horrible. So, all right, I'm going to my area. Hey Sam, can you give me a charger? All right, I'm about ready.
All right. Yeah, I'm getting on the punchline page right now too. I had a little Chipotle burrito problem a little bit ago.
That's all right. Are you
I
on there yet? Anybody?
no,
How
I'm
long?
not. I'm not on the page yet at all. I'm on there clicking on right now, but I had a Chipotle issue.
Fair enough.
All right. I think we're good now. Let me.
Okay, Sam, you got one? My phone's gonna die. I can't. All right. This is how we're going today.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I'll be getting on to YouTube here in a second. So, take this off. No luck.
Yeah, I'm on. Give me a second. It just took a little bit to click on there. Oh yeah, I'm down here right now looking. Okay. Everything just moving slow today. All right. Esteban, hey, what's up? Crystal, sounding better. Kate, hey, friends. All right, we are here on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. Yeah, I am feeling better. It took about 17 days, I think, but I'm feeling better. Still a little weak. But are
No,
you
that's
there?
good.
Are you there, Kelly?
Yep, I am.
All right, let's get started. What do you want to start off today?
Let's just go over everything that the Caleb, Caleb Plant's a big one.
Well, we got to hit that up. We got to hit Caleb Plant up.
Absolutely. And we'll go into. We could talk about who's next for him. Um, we could talk about the Spence fight that everybody's talking about. What was the other one we were talking about earlier at the gym?
We're talking about Errol Spence probably moving ahead of Crawford on the pound for pound list just because of his activity alone.
Oh
He already,
yeah,
and then we're talking about we got Virgil Ortiz and we got Hooker. But I think that's a great topic. Is no matter who I think the better fighter is, which I think Crawford is the better fighter, but Errol keeps staying busy. And he's fighting quality guys. He's fighting. They're talking about him fighting Ugas now for the WBA strap that Manny Pacquiao got taken.
yeah.
So I'm not saying Ugas is the greatest in the welterweight division, but he's solid. He's a solid guy. So
Um, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think right now, you know, talent wise, honestly, I got that fight up in the air. I mean, Crawford could fight. Crawford's an amazing fighter, but
Yeah,
I think if you're going to go as far as off the resume, I got who got better opposition. I got to go with Spence in that. I mean,
I
that's pretty
agree.
obvious. I mean, he has fought, and that's not Crawford's fault. You know, I think that's a little bit of an issue between,
His promoter,
yeah, top rank PVC.
and that's what. But like I said, I'm a big proponent of Crawford. I think how people say the eye test. I really believe that Crawford is the better fighter. And I think that he would beat Spence. But right now, I have to give Spence credit for staying busy, and that means a lot more than talent. You know what I mean? Staying busy.
Yeah,
Or what do I think when they fight each other? And you're right about that. We talked about that in the gym today, Kelly. If they should make that fight, even if it's 60% Spence, 40% Crawford, 40% is going to be a lot more than Crawford has ever made ever. Anyway,
I agree. I definitely agree with that. You know, another big thing about that is that's going to be the biggest thing out there. And Crawford, that's what else is out there for him right now. You know, nothing.
yeah,
So I
absolutely,
mean, he has to do something.
he does. Um, right now, I'm looking for me personally. I'm looking forward to that fight if it materializes, and I think there's going to be a time that's going to have to happen. Bob Arum, he's going to have to get over whatever issues him and Crawford have, and he has to make a fight out of him. Um, Bob Arum's complaining, I don't make any money off Terrence Crawford. Well, you got to put him in fights if you're going to make money off of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? Unfortunately, maybe there's not enough money even in the big fights. But you know, going back on like what we keep saying,
Yeah.
that's the big fight out there. I mean, right now, if Crawford took the 40%, he's still going to make way more than he is against anybody else because that's the fight that the public demands. That's the fight that people want to see, and let's make it happen. I mean,
Right?
because that's how. And then you know what? You go and you beat Spence. Now you're the one that's always going to be the A side because there ain't nobody else to beat at that weight class.
Darren says if Spence fights and beats Ugas, he'll have three of the four belts, giving him all the bargaining power with Crawford, which may make the fight even harder to make. True, but I don't think it's Spence and Crawford that don't want the fight. I think it's the promotional companies that are making it hard for this fight.
Yeah. Real quick, before to hop off, we'll go right back on Uncle Shem. Tiafimo was saying he wants to fight Haney next.
And why
You
not?
know, that's the only thing. I love Tiafimo, man, but he's all over the place on who he wants to fight. You know, I seen something where he was just saying that these guys got to go prove themselves now, and you know, he'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Can you see me? Okay, good. Yeah, I was. No, I agree with you. What do you think about the Maurice Hooker Virgil Ortiz fight coming up? I'm really excited about that in Fort Worth, right?
That's a big one. Fuck it.
What happened to your phone?
Yeah, I got a charger.
You gotta put a bottle behind it.
Yep. There ain't much going on. Kelly versus Joe Smith is the fight we want to see.
Nobody wants
No.
to see Joe Smith is fucking garbage.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to see my old ass, then they got problems.
I still
You
think
know,
you.
real quick, I was talking about that the other day. I was talking to some kid at
Yeah,
the gym, and they were like, "Yeah, why don't you make a comeback in this?" I go, "You know what? When people ask me that, I feel like getting like a construction worker and asking me that and be like, and he'd been retired for 10 years, and I want to tell him like, yeah, but why don't you just go back for like one last go at it? Why don't you go shoot the
but
nose
they.
right through your big knuckle, you know, one last time,
Yeah,
fall off the 8 foot roof, like you know, one last time. We would love to see it. Fucking people.
Can you see me?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was not a problem with you in the first place. Who said there was?
Oh no, my phone's acting stupid. That's why I just moved it.
Hercules says, "Yo, what's up?"
What's
Um,
up?
yeah, but so going back on that with Spence and Crawford, that's going to come down. I mean, for boxing's sake, again, it's going to be a big payday for both of them, and I just think they're going to have one of them going to have to suck it up and take the fight. I mean, in my opinion, Spence has the bragging points and has the leg to stand on in this argument. As far as purse dispensing, I don't know. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. The problem is, I think it's egos right now. I think that's the main mistake. It's egos. It's not what they think's fair, or it's not. It's what who they think. It's who they think they are in relatively the sport, and their egos talking. You know.
Yep. Sergio Meza goes Mayweather Paul postponed. Well, to be honest with you, I don't give a shit about that, Sergio. I mean, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it, but
Dude.
it's kind of coming to the point with them now. It is getting a little too much of a circus show, but same time, people will watch it.
Yeah. And well, Esteban made a good point. He said, Tiff Emo said today that YouTube celebrities are hurting boxing. I keep saying inactivity, BS, glory, corruption, and PEDs are way worse for boxing than YouTube kid bringing more fans of sport. I agree. But there's coming to a point where the Logan Pauls and Jake Pauls are calling out the Manny Pacquiao's,
Yeah,
the Errol Spences. That just, all they're doing is trying to create hype. They're not going to fight these fucking guys. And Logan's fighting Floyd Mayweather. What do you guys really think is going to happen? If anybody asked, Floyd versus Logan Paul. And they're on the wrong. This is the wrong show for them. There's other shows that'll play into that shit. There's Logan Paul absolutely has no chance of beating
yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
No, you don't, and they're bigger too. That's why they're trying every little advantage. Fucking Logan Paul and him are what 175. You know,
185, yeah,
Yeah, 185. So I mean, they know what they're trying to do, but and again, it's not hurting boxing. So when people say that is ruining boxing, like listen, the fans the fans are what's hurting boxing. These
yeah,
new time fans is what's hurting boxing. I mean, that's the fucking problem. So quit putting it on the other shit. These fans, every time a big fight happens, nobody gets credit. Everybody's overrated. Every person hasn't fought somebody. Nobody's good enough. Canelo could jump two weight classes, but yet they'll go jump on the sack of Roberto Duran and Harry Greb. So when people keep saying that, cut the shit, man. It's not uh, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. It's the boxing fans that's hurting the sport.
yeah,
And that's what I can say.
dude.
Uh, Hold on, real quick. Furman says Miguel Burchell versus Oscar Valdez will be a great fight. Can't wait.
It will, but what the problem with Valdez, he fights the level of competition, which Burchell's great, but I do not think Valdez has enough to get him over that hump. I think Burchell's gonna stop him.
Yeah. Um, JoJo, Uncle Chef says JoJo's only a 2-1 favorite versus this unknown guy he's fighting soon. Why?
Ah, man, that's Vegas for you. I don't know.
Yeah, they
Maybe,
all have
maybe,
their.
maybe they see something going on with JoJo that we don't see. A lot of these Vegas insiders, they have like spies and all kind of crazy shit in
Oh, they do.
camps. Yeah, they know what's going on in camps. I mean, a lot of these guys, like in the NFL, they can tell players are on fucking cocaine the night before. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So here's my. I got a question on that. Looks like Canelo versus Billy Joe is happening.
Yes.
So is Canelo pulling out of that mandatory?
No, he's fighting the mandatory in March, and
That's what I thought.
he's fighting his mandatory, but he's fighting Billy Joe after.
Yeah, which is I feel bad because he's not going to get the credit for that.
Bro, he didn't get today. They started not giving him credit. Right away, Caleb Plant would beat the shit out of Canelo. In what universe is that going to happen? Not that Caleb Plant's not a great boxer. He's a good boxer. I'm not even going to say great. He's a very good boxer. But for a guy like Canelo, you need something to keep him off you. There's nothing Caleb Plant is going to keep him off you.
Of all the super middleweights right now, the top ones. Again, I think Caleb Plant belongs at the top as one of the top champions. But of the top guys, so that being the three, Benavidez, Bivol, and Canelo. I think Plant would have a better chance against a guy like Canelo because of size and
Yeah,
everything else. But I still think Canelo would win that fight. I think it would be a boring fight the first 4 rounds, but I think Canelo would break him down, pick the shots, figure him out, and probably end up maybe stopping him with body shot.
I
And
agree.
Uncle Sham said he thinks Billy Joe is better than Plant. I don't see.
I don't see that. Uh, you know what the problem is with the problem with Billy Joe guys is this. Billy Joe fights every 2 years, and when he does, he's getting popped for cocaine, PEDs, and you never hear anybody talk about Billy Joe and his PED issues, but you always hear about Canelo and his one time, right, or whatever the case is. But the thing is this: Billy Joe is good defensively. Let's not forget, but he's always at a position to counter. He'll hit you with one, and he'll move around. He'll be 3 feet from you after
Yeah.
that.
He's not. I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't think. I think he copies and mimics the style that it's going to. He's like he's the Adrian Broner of Sergio Martinez. You know what I mean? I'm being
Yeah,
honest. That's how I
yeah.
feel.
Oh,
Like
he's the
he tries copying Sergio Martinez style, he's not Sergio Martinez.
he's the Dr. K to he's the Dr. K to Dr. Pepper.
Yep. Um, any idea who Mikey Garcia might fight next?
I have no idea. Right
He's
now,
in
Mike
training though.
he's training, but Mikey's this way. Mikey's camp is real good about keeping hush hush up until it's signed because they don't like to say it's signed and then a fight doesn't happen because they take it out on him. It's always on. It'll be on him, just like it's on Canelo. They're like, oh well, Mikey ducked. No, Mikey didn't duck. Negotiations fall through. They happen all the time. So he'll keep it until it's right about signed. You'll hear it on ESPN or something, or Ellie will say it.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Uh, Plant is fresher. Okay, wait a minute. Plant B class. I can't put grades on him. I wouldn't say he's a B class fighter. I mean, he's beaten some guys.
I don't put
Uncle
grades.
Champ said Billy Joe beat Andy Lee.
Okay, Andy Lee.
Okay, Eubank Jr.
Okay.
Okay, and Lemieux. Lemieux's been like, dude, the guy I knocked out in the seventh, eighth round. Marco Antonio Rubio was the first one to knock out Lemieux.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's not. And I'm not. I mean, Rubio's a good fighter, but those are not like notable wins in my opinion. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Jeff Brock says, "Give me 3 to 4 months. I'll box either one of them." Well, yeah, but the problem is, Jeff, you don't bring it. You don't bring the ass to the seats. You can probably beat him, but you don't bring enough ass to the seats to make that fight. And that's what boxing's about. It's not about if you can fight anymore. It's about if you can sell tickets.
I would love to see Mikey versus Loma at 135. That would be a great one. I would love to see that too.
I would like to see it, but I think with the slow loss, the luster's not there for it. You know what I mean? The zeal's not there.
Well, I don't really think we will ever see Mikey back at 135 in his career.
No, no. I would like to see Mikey versus Taylor.
That'd be a great one.
Um, David Nally says, "What's up, boys? What's up, David? How you doing, bro?" But yeah, that I would like to see that. I would like to see Mikey and Regis.
Yeah,
Those would be some good fights.
I
I
think
mean,
I think Mikey could stop Regis
oh
Prograis
yeah.
in later rounds.
I think Taylor, if he put it on, I don't know about stopping him, but he'd beat him up.
Yeah, Taylor could fight though.
Yeah, he can. But Taylor gets hit a lot. We've seen it every fight he's been. He comes out there worse for wear.
Uh, James Burrell, yeah, James is sounding much better than last week. Glad to hear it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I am a little bit.
Yeah. So what was the other one we were going to talk about?
Oh, well, we didn't talk about Hooker yet, Virgil Ortiz.
Yes, that's going to be an exciting fight.
We're probably gonna go, right?
I think so. We'll see how everything. We'll put in. Hate to lose that on that one,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll probably go to that if we could get credentialed. I just hope they don't try to give us one or two. You know what I mean? Well, if they
No,
give us two, that would be all right.
two's fine. But no, Golden Boy's usually good about it. We don't ever really have problems getting credentialed. I know that, but and I know a lot of people aren't going to come to this fight because of the COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but hey, there's never a bad time to go to Dallas Fort Worth area, is there?
No.
But like I said, how do you have that fight going, Kelly?
Uh, Ortiz. I think that could be a fight if Ortiz comes out and he's on point that night. I think that could be a fight that's dominating.
I like Maurice Hooker as a fighter and as a person. There's nothing. I have nothing but respect for Hooker. I'm just saying that I think Virgil Ortiz probably stops him between the fifth and seventh round.
I agree.
That's one of those fighters that we were talking about. You were talking about, not me. I'm not going to take credit for that. But that's one of the fighters that you were talking about, Virgil, who can close the distance fast.
Yeah. Yep. Virgil's in that same category as styles are different, but same category as Manny Pacquiao, Lomachenko,
Tifimo.
Teofimo. Yep.
Um, Esteban says, do you guys think we'll ever see Loma under 140 again? I hope we do. I think the best Loma is still hovering about 130, 135. I still maybe 130. You know, I still think the best Loma might be hovering about 130.
Yeah. Firma Carrasco thinks Virgil Ortiz wins by KO.
I do too. I agree with Furman.
Um,
But well, back to that, Kelly. Why do you think it is that certain fans, no matter how good a fighter does, it's never good enough? No matter who they beat, like if Virgil wins this fight, it's not going to be good enough. It'll be well, Maurice Hooker lost his last fight to Ramirez. You know what I mean? But
okay.
he actually winning. He won his last fight, but it'll always be that.
This goes back over beating a dead hit horse. This goes because of the because of the social media age. Um, People have the platform
Yeah,
to hop on and talk shit, and no fighter ever gets the credit. No fighter is good enough, and that's going back to where I said fans are the ones that ruin the sport. Um, and then they go, oh yeah, these guys from 1919 are better than the guys today, and they didn't fight like they used to fight back then. Man, listen, if a guy fought 20 times a year, if Earl Spence fought 20 times a year, and out of 20 fights, 12 of them were against guys 14 and 17, 1 and 3, 26 and 22, people would not watch, and boxing would be ruined today if that happened. But yet they'll still go give all them type guys credit. Um, that's the problem. I mean, nobody's happy. Everybody wants to feel relevant. So, unfortunately, the way it works in society is if they can get on there and talk shit, that makes them feel better, and that
yeah,
makes them feel more important. And that's really what it comes down to. Look at every boxing group on Facebook, and you'll see unless you fought from 1981 and back, you get no credit,
yeah. It's
and
true.
that's the unfortunate.
It's true.
Give me an empty can.
Darren says, was the Pacquiao Ryan Garcia fight ever a real thing? I saw Pacquiao's management send a legal warning to anyone meddling in Pacquiao's career at Golden Boy, saying it's not happening.
Kelly,
So, sounds like Golden Boy was negotiating with the wrong people.
dog it. Spitter. Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor needs to be made. That could be a good one.
Yeah.
James, bro, that's very true. You never hear anyone saying that about today's football, basketball, or baseball players. Oh, wait, though, James. Yeah, I have. I've heard people say that 1981 or 1979 Celtics can beat basketball guys today. I've heard them say that they don't make that football players are not as tough as they used to be. Um, oh man, I could go on.
Yeah, Esteban says,
Fucking dogs.
good.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Uh,
Getting there. There we go. Finally.
Esteban says, boxing fans are the worst. Imagine NBA fans talking about schooling Jordan or an NFL fan talking about hitting Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Going back on that with Bo Jackson. Okay, so I was watching a game last night. In 1980, I think it was 83 or 84, and Bo Jackson was playing. He was 225.
Yeah.
He was considered a big running back. Now, I'm not saying Bo Jackson wasn't great, but Bo Jackson today, in my opinion, would be a good running back. He would not be Bo Jackson, though. The offensive linemen, their offensive lineman average, I think it was 285. These offensive linemen in big D1 schools now in college are 315, 320,
Yep. 330.
6'7", 6'6". They run a 4.9 40, 4.8 40. Even a 5 flat 40 is scooting for a 300 some pound guy.
Right?
Um, yeah, it's irritating, man. It's beyond irritating. And again, my big thing on this, and going over and over, it's not talking like I'm not knocking the when I say this, it comes off like I'm knocking the era of Harry Grubb or
Yeah.
the era of the 60s and 70s, and
Yeah.
I'm not okay. But what I'm doing is I'm defending every fighter, and I'm not going to let people shit on on the people today. Like Hercules comes in, better PEDs. Listen, don't think Bo Jackson wasn't on it. Didn't Walter Payton actually pass away from chronic
Yeah.
liver disease from
Yeah.
taking
Yep.
steroids?
Yep.
Come on, man. You had more people then because they didn't have the shit. They couldn't tell. They didn't have the testing equipment that they have today either. So let's not forget about that. They had the real shit back then.
Yeah. Fucking D ball.
The reason
Uh,
why they quit using it is because the testing got better.
so it says, Darren said he's going to Chocolatito Estrada fight in Dallas the week before. Wish they put the Hooker fight on the night before. We would have went to both. That'd been great, Darren, if you did that. That'd been great. I would have loved to stay for both of them too. But there was a question: is the Ryan Garcia Pacquiao fight happening? Because Pacquiao sent out a disclaimer saying for people not to get involved in his career or he'll sue him. And then Golden Boy said the fight's not happening. So there was a comment that that people that it sounds like people are talking to the wrong people. But it says that. But you guys got to remember, Pacquiao's camp has been known for having some shady fucking people in that camp. He had Michael Kantz for how many years that spoke that was Manny's mouthpiece. You know what I mean? And he would make side deals and all kind of different deals with Manny not knowing. So who knows what really happened there? You know what I mean? Manny has such a big camp, and when you have a big group of people like that, it's hard to keep control. What's
Well,
going on?
and I'm pretty sure if there wasn't any truth to it, that
ESPN
that
would have dropped it.
well, not only that, but Ryan Garcia, Golden Boy, wouldn't allow Ryan Garcia to keep going on about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, Golden Boy said it was happening too, but
Yeah,
now
that's
they're
what I'm
saying
saying. They're not.
no. Oh, I agree. I'm just saying that I think that Manny has such a big camp, and with his personality, he allows people to do all kind of shit, and he doesn't really stand up for himself, and they do it, and then finally, like, whoa, this is getting ridiculous now. And I think that's where a lot of it happens. I see the way that Michael Koch used to operate with Manny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Murad was robbing Pacquiao. Murad, he's saying Sergio Meza said Murad Muhammad.
Yeah, we robbed Pacquiao too.
Yep. James Bro goes, what do you guys think about a potential Manny versus Ryan Garcia fight? I think Manny beats him worse than Oscar or OSC. Um,
I don't think Ryan's ready for that. Really, I think he's inexperienced for a guy like Manny
I don't
Pacquiao.
think it's a good fight at all.
I mean, let's be fair. Manny's a legend in the sport, and he still has something left. And he's big. He's the bigger man. He's a welterweight.
Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, I think even if Ryan Garcia beats him, um, and Ryan's not going to beat him convincingly, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see this. Santillo Media comes on. He says, we fans are never satisfied. Forever we say we are not getting the fights we want, but we were saying that when WW welterweight champion Keith Thurman was fighting Porter and Danny Garcia back to back, we are
Yep.
never happy. True, they're
Yeah.
not.
True. I mean, I can't argue with that. Esteban's.
Change.
Hey, Kelly, here's a good one for you. Esteban says, did better fights get made back in the 70s and 80s compared to now? Different promotion methods.
No, I don't think so.
No, I
I
don't either.
you know again. Okay, so it's just is it better matchmaking now on that? I don't know. I can't say they fought. Okay, yes, Duran, Hearns, Hagler from the 70s even into the early 80s. They fought.
Benitez, yeah.
But let me explain this. So, I don't think it's that. Here's where I think that the difference is. If okay, so if what's up, Lion Killer? If Lomachenko
Yeah.
fought Triple G
Yep.
or Canelo Alvarez, the backlash would be horrific. It would be the biggest shit talking setup and everything that you could possibly think wrong with any of it. It would be the worst thing for boxing ever if Lomachenko fought Canelo, right? What's the difference between Roberto Duran? I mean, he was fat. He was a fat guy at middleweight. What's the difference between Roberto Duran fighting Marvin Hagler? And why was it such a great, great feat for Marvin Hagler to beat
A lightweight.
Roberto Duran?
A
Now,
lightweight.
what?
A lightweight.
Yeah. And again, Roberto Duran won a world title at light. Roberto Duran didn't turn pro at lightweight, and 2 years later was already at junior middleweight. Roberto Duran actually turned pro at 130 and won a world title at lightweight. So let's remember that, guys. For most of his career, childhood up into his adult years, he was fighting guys from 126 to 135. He went to middleweight. If that happened today, and even if you gave Lomachenko, if Lomachenko moved up to 140, fought one fight, went up to 147, fought three, went to junior middleweight, fought two, and then fought Canelo, man, people would be pissed. It's just different times. You know what I mean? Like you were able to do that. If welterweights came up, it wouldn't get the same credit. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's the way it is now with boxing. And again, I have to put the blame on social media. That's
Yep. I agree.
like James Raw. Boxing needs more promoters, fewer sanctioning bodies, in my opinion. Okay, so if you have so everybody's bitching now that these big fights ain't happening, right? So if you go and just cut it down to the WBA, WBC, or even one, like some people say, now you're going to have guys like just say like Crawford right now was third in line. So you're going to have to wait. God only knows how long for Spence to turn around and fight, which you're waiting for it now. But you're going to have some good guys coming up. You're going to have guys like Virgil Ortiz, who may have to wait 3 years. 3 years from now, Virgil Ortiz may not even be at welterweight. He may be past his prime. You know, like it's not going to work. You're not going to see the great fights. I think that with 3 or 4 world title sanctioning bodies, that you're really getting a chance to see what talent's out there. You really are. Um, just people. It's not anything that's really wrong with boxing. I mean, it's not. It's just that people, if you quit bitching, then it is what it is. There's been some great fights that have been made in the last 3 years. Really good fights.
I agree. I was just letting you finish because you had a point, and I really think so. I think I'm not a big fan of a lot of the promoters, and you got to remember we need more promoters, but they're not letting these promoters in. All the great fighters are already signed to promoters. Where are you going to get your next crop of fighters from? All your young guys belong to Top Rank and Golden Boy. Your experienced guys belong to Al Heyman for the most part. Where are you going to get these guys at?
Yep.
And you don't think that the Olympians for 2021 or 2024 are already spoken for? These kids are already being watched and recruited now and brought in now.
Yep.
So there's really boxing has set it up to where there is no room for another promoter. They've made it to where that they won't make it.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of promoters right now. You got enough. I mean, everybody likes UFC. I mean, you got one.
Yeah,
Uh,
but there they don't have any marketability. They don't have any way to argue their purses or anything because it's only one person's.
that's what I'm saying.
He kind of monopolized it, and that's what you'll get with boxing.
Yep. Santio Media says somebody asked me yesterday, what's the difference between Top Rank and Golden Boy matchmaking? I said, well, to start, Top Rank holds 30 to 40 cards per year. Therefore, you get more opportunities. Golden Boy roughly 15 cards. Um, yeah, that's true, and I don't know if that's the Top Rank. Top Rank been around; they're established, and what I really like about Top Rank, Golden Boy does a good job with their fighters. Let's not get it twisted. They do a
Yeah.
good job. Top Rank has been known to really bring guys up, in my opinion, the right way and make them into great champions. And you've seen it with Pacquiao, Mayweather, De La Hoya, and it goes on and on. So Top Rank is hard to argue against them, but Golden Boy I think does a really good job.
Yep. I do
Um,
too. I think they
I,
all.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I think they all do a great job for the most part, but they all have their niche. Every promotional company has a certain niche they're in. We know that Eddie Hearn takes care of most of the European fighters and some of the heavier guys, and
PVC throws out, moves you quick.
moves you quick and takes some of the old experienced guys. And it's good for them.
Yep,
And they
DeBella's still. I mean, DeBella's still in there. Don't think
the
that
Bella,
he's
yeah,
sat his
yeah.
hands and. Uh,
Main events is still around.
yep.
And
Lion Coach says Henry Armstrong, greatest example of moving up in my mind.
how many fights have you seen him in?
I can't even talk. I really can't. I cannot speak on that.
Show me his box rec who he fought, and then we'll talk about moving up.
It probably was some 1 in 10.
0 and 30, 0, 4 and 5, 18 and 110.
James Burrell, you make great points, but they're emailing belts out now. FFs and the few big promotions don't really need each other enough. Well, here's the only okay. So there is no real way to fix it. Sorry, I mean, if you go to one or two promoters, or I mean one or two sanctioning bodies, you're cutting big fight. You're cutting out all the possible big fights. You
Yeah.
really are. You are now pushing them back, and I think today with today's people that half these by the time these fights get made, everybody's going to be old, washed up. It's not going to happen. Um, the only thing I could say though is with too many promoters is you come into the situation that you got with Crawford and Spence right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the problem that does lay ahead. I mean, when a promoter is beef, the only ones that get affected by it is the fighter, and
Hey,
that's
Kelly,
huh.
you want to give Clint Osborne a shout out from UK?
What's up, Clint?
Um,
Thanks for tuning in, bro.
oh, and
Appreciate
then,
you.
good, good. And then Darren has a question for you, Kelly. There's a lot of talk of the Fight Night video game coming back. Has Kelly been approached for another one or know anything about it?
Not yet.
They better put them dollars on your doorstep.
Yeah, they better ask.
So, hey, when you did your first fight night, did they own the rights forever, or was it just for that game?
Yeah, but you get paid. I mean, it's hard. Again, a lot of this shit when you have an opportunity, especially coming up,
Yeah,
you got to take what you can get. You're not going to have the rights over EA Sports.
yeah,
Just hard.
true.
And it could have been more. I mean, they wanted exclusive rights. But it was for first of all, anybody comes to most people and say, "Hey, I'm gonna put you in a video game." You're not going to say anything about anything,
Yep.
let alone on top of that get a nice, $20,000 check for it. So
Yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Yep. Darren said, "Oh, Darren has said the problem is the promotional companies are tied to networks, so it makes fights harder to get made." He's absolutely right. These promotional companies are tied to. You have Top Rank to ESPN. You have Al Heyman, BBC, Fox, and Showtime. And you do have these other networks like that. Golden Boy
Uh,
is mixed up in
Joel,
there too.
Joel's are talking about the COVID. He said you still sound like crap. And one guy said you have COVID. He's like, oh damn. He
Yeah.
goes, looking good for having COVID. Actually, James did have COVID. He's over it, but he still got some of these side effects.
Yeah, I'm fucked up, guys.
So Joel, it actually did kick James. Tell Joel because Joel's another one of them guys that don't think COVID is real.
Dude, it knocked me out for like 17 days. Like it put me down. And I was like shaky on it too. But I couldn't breathe. I fucking slept all day, night, and it was terrible. It was the most sick I've ever been.
I told him it rocked Roger Romo, who's in tip top shape.
Yeah. I wasn't in bad shape either. I work out every day.
Yeah.
And but dude, there's no working out that can stop that.
No. Uh,
It's gonna take a while to recover from it.
yep. Satya Mina goes, Kelly, what do you think of David Benavidez going to spar Roberts middleweight? He
Why
sparred
not?
27-0 Southpaw Falco Olympia in 2012, 154-pound Carlos Adames, and 6-0 Alex Espino. That is
Yeah.
promoted by Eddie Hearn.
Yeah. Yeah, I know all those guys. Well, you know
Yeah.
them all too.
I don't know many of them, but
Adamas is the one that Patrick beat. You remember Patrick
yeah.
Sarah beat for the title?
I mean,
Uh,
it's good work. But listen. The thing about Robert Garcia's stable is, I mean, you're going there, and you could ask Chris Algieri, you could ask Virgil Ortiz. Man, it's no joke, man. When you go out there is no easy days.
no, you're working for your supper out there.
Ricky said, James, those are symptoms of AIDS.
Probably, but you probably gave it to me.
Yeah, yeah, good possibility.
You remember in Brooklyn when he was running around raping people?
Yep, Damon Martinez got it.
Speaking of Damon says, "What's up, fellas? Out shoveling snow." So Damon's here.
Yeah, Damon knows about it.
Yeah, he did. He got that asshole torn apart big time,
Yep, and Joel said Ricky has it, so he knows.
right?
I guess it's not that bad to pick on it anymore. I mean, they got all kinds of medicine out for it, right?
Yeah, AZT. It makes my throat dry.
Yep. James Bro said James doesn't get COVID. COVID gets James Dominguez. He's like Chuck Norris.
I wish.
Flew, put out the fight, but never had a chance.
What's that?
He said that you're like Chuck Norris.
I wish. Thank you though. But yeah, I'll tell you what though, that this 17 days have been rough. I'm Today was the first day back at the gym and I couldn't do shit. It felt like I just started over.
Mhm. Bear Cabelli sprinkles Corona in his green tea. Uh, Bear Cabelli one coming up.
Bear Cavelli uses the coronavirus as a pre-workout.
Yeah. uh, fuck.
That motherfucker, he dry scoops coronavirus.
He does.
Dry scoops.
He don't even Bear Cabelli don't even put it in water. He puts it right down his throat.
He don't even want to taste the food anymore. He goes, I don't want to taste food. Give me a triple scoop.
Bear Cabelli mixes that with anthrax.
David, K. Kelly, David said, what I miss?
Oh, Ricky talking about giving James AIDS and that you have it.
You have it too. But we also talked about Hooker and Virgil. We talked about Crawford and Spence, how they need to come to an agreement because 40% of whatever Crawford's been offered is the most he'll ever make anyway. So you might as well take that fight. What else, Kelly? Um, we talked about that. We talked about the fight coming up. We're talking about
Oh, about
Hook.
how fans, are
Yeah,
today. Um, why fighters don't get the credit. Satya Media says those Ohio boys are getting shape for February 20th on Showtime in Connecticut.
yeah.
Robert Easter, Rasheed Warren, and Adrian Broner are all looking great in the gym.
I love Robert Easter. I don't have anything bad to say about Robert Easter. He's a
I
good
don't
dude.
either. Um,
I like Adrian. I
I
met it.
Yeah, I don't know though where Robert Easter goes from here. Rasheed Warren, I don't know. He's been around a long time with. Um, I mean, Rasheed Warren is probably one of the in boxing, even right now, one of the more gifted fighters out there.
That never
Rasheed
fights.
Warren, what's that?
That never fights.
Yeah, he never fights though. It's a shame. And we know Adrian Broner.
Bro,
Adrian Broner fights everybody. So
you know how old Rashid Warren is? I remember him in the amateurs.
yeah, I mean he's talented though. I mean you gotta
Bro,
look at that. But
tell me though. Tell me one time that you didn't sit there and look at Rashid Warren in the amateurs and say he looked like Beetlejuice.
yeah.
You remember from the Howard Stern show Beetlejuice?
Oh yeah.
He looked just like Beetlejuice.
Um, Gerardo the Gallant says, "Who does Pac face next?" We're kind of guessing maybe Ryan
Ryan,
Garcia.
or you know what? The Mikey Garcia, Ryan Garcia. He can face Taylor. He can face basically the world's open to Pac. Pac calls
He's
the
gonna have
shots.
to do it, and I kind of, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of hope it's his last fight.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Esteban's laughing because he knows he does look like Beetlejuice.
yeah,
Hey, oh, David had COVID twice. So
damn.
David got COVID twice, and he's still alive.
Um, I mean, what's Rasheed Warren's record now?
I have no idea. I have to. I know he lost a fight or two. Hey, Kelly, here's a good question. This is for you. Did Spence need Mikey, or Mikey need Spence to fill those seats? When we were there that night, I thought Mikey had the edge when it came to filling the seats, but there was a lot of people for Spence too. But I
Yeah.
think it was mostly pro Mikey
Well, you
that
gotta
night.
look at it like this too. I mean, is them seats there if he's not fighting Spence?
No,
And
he was asking just before because somebody was asking about that.
they're both draws. Mikey has a draw. I mean, Mikey's going to bring people. Now, with a guy like Mikey, it's hard to argue that too. Mikey has a leg to stand on. Mikey generates people. Um,
Well, well, I think what he's asking when we were at that fight that night, right in Dallas,
yeah,
who were the fans predominantly rooting for? Was it Spence or Mikey?
it leaned towards Mikey.
It did too. But I would say Spence had a lot of fans that night, at least
Oh,
25, 30,000. At
absolutely.
least
Spence is a
20,000.
big draw. He is. I mean, it was mixed. I mean, it could. It's hard to when you got that many people and a fight's changing like that,
Yeah.
or going a certain way. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But listen, um, there ain't much going on here right now, so we are going to kind of let you guys go. It was a great
But
show.
we move to Sundays next week at 7, right?
What day is the Super Bowl? Monday,
Sun, Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay, we moved to Sunday the following week.
Yes, we moved to
Yes.
Sunday the following week, guys.
After Super Bowl.
Yep. Um, so make sure you guys are there. I'm going to hurry up and hit Julian Slowwater. He said, Mr. Pavlik and Dominguez, how tough was Truax? He was a game guy.
He's tough. He's
He's
tough.
tough.
You know what? Anybody takes those kind of punishment. Truax has always been a tough guy. It just sometimes being tough isn't enough. Everybody here knows that. We're not insulting anybody. Everybody here watches the sport. Everybody here are experts pretty much in the sport, and we know sometimes being tough isn't enough. Just like having all the talent in the world's not enough. It takes the mix of both.
Yep, it does. Um, but yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Um, we will be back, and we'll let you know. We'll keep you posted. Follow the fight page, and we'll keep you posted on what's happening with the show.
Subscribe and like and hit that bell, right?
Yep.
And see you guys next Tuesday. After that, it'll be Sunday. So have a great week.
Have a great week.
Did Justin pick you up yet?